Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bill Has Opinions, the drinking show, the Christmas cookie problem. I'm Laura Lavoie, and I'm here with Bill Perkins, who has opinions.
Hi there.
Hello. Hello and welcome.
Yes.
We're very Christmassy tonight. Well,
are we?
I mean, we still have our lights on in the background.
Lights are on, yeah, and you're wearing a Christmas shirt.
I am wearing a Christmas
I don't
shirt.
I don't really own a Christmas shirt. I own like 5 Halloween shirts. But I mean, so my most Christmas shirt is I have a red buffalo plaid shirt.
Oh, that's a good Christmas shirt.
And last year I actually owned a matching Santa hat. It was also red buffalo plaid, but I cannot find. Like I went to look for it the other day because we were doing the thing. Oh, so I might have mentioned in passing, but my town that I live in, Saluda, which is a very small town, does this thing called Hometown Christmas.
Right.
And it was Friday night, and it is the most Gilmore Girls shit you've ever seen in real life, okay? Because it's a small town. Like our town is literally, it's like 2 blocks long, first off. That's how big the town is.
Yeah, it's like the like not even quintessential American small town. Like it's just a small ass town.
It really is. But then they have this thing called Hometown Christmas, and it's basically like all the shops and shit all up and down the block. They all have like little cookie stations, and everybody can like. I guess it's basically it's like an invitational shopping night, sort of. But it's
sure.
But it's everybody's giving away like cider and hot chocolate and coffee and cookies and shit, and people are walking up and down the street, having a good time.
Sure.
Mostly just eating free cookies, though.
Right.
Bunch of mooches.
Well, also you're about to eat some free cookies.
True.
Well, I made them expressly for the show.
Okay.
So,
but then they also everybody goes over to the little park, and they have local musicians who are of some regard. Actually, the two musicians who were performing were Michael Flynn, who you're familiar with.
I love Michael Flynn. Yeah, good stuff.
And Aaron Burdett. And Aaron Burdett, actually, I don't know if you're familiar.
Oh yeah, I know his name. Yeah,
he's been added as a member now of the Steep Canyon Rangers, who is also Steve Martin's backup band.
They are their own band. They're in their own right, their own band. But when Steve Martin does his little banjo situation,
they're his backup.
They're his band. Yeah.
So anyway, Aaron Burdett is the newest Steep Canyon Ranger also. But anyway, he's been locally famous, and I don't mean just in Saluda, but also in this whole
Western North Carolina area.
For several years. He mostly does kind of, sort of bluesy, I don't know, like, roots rock kind of shit. But
sure.
I guess now he's doing that. Anyway, those two performing in tandem, like singing Christmas songs, and then the whole town comes out and sings along with them, and it's like I said, it's just some cute shit, and like it's one of those things like when you do it, you're like, I can't believe this. Like it's like something you see on TV. You can't believe it's real, like,
right? And
there have only been a few things in my life I've ever been in a situation where I go, this is like something off the TV, but that's one of them. And it's funny because I said that last year when I went. And
you sent me a text in the middle of it. You're like, this is the most Gilmore Girls shit I've ever been in.
And then this year, it's funny because I actually didn't go over to the park for the music part because we were busy handing out cookies. I was on cookie duty. But then afterwards, I went because I'd been out in front of the Purple Onion for like 2 hours and I was cold. And I finally went inside to warm up. And I'm sitting there, and one of the waitresses comes over to me. She goes, is it just me, or is this kind of Gilmore Girls-y? And I'm like, oh, it's the most Gilmore Girls shit I've ever seen.
I mean, as a fan of Gilmore Girls, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm saying like it's just so fucking cute.
Right?
Like,
I mean, yeah, exactly. It's just adorbs. It's just adorbs. Well, that's
anyway.
Awesome.
That's the thing that went on, and I had plenty of cookies to make that tie in.
Right, because
I was giving away cookies. I had a table there, and I had 3 tiers.
And were they homemade cookies by?
Well, homemade in the sense that the baker at the Purple Onion made them. They weren't store-bought cookies.
No, they weren't store-bought cookies. They weren't like I made them.
But they weren't made
at home. You're going to see in a minute. Yeah, you're going to see in a minute. I make good, tasty cookies, but I make ugly-ass cookies. Okay. I am not a champion decorator.
These weren't like Christmas cookies per se because they were just cookies.
Oh, sure.
But there was a ginger molasses cookie,
I think that counts. I mean, that's close to like gingerbread, right?
Okay. Yeah, well, or like a ginger snap. Although
Sure.
these weren't snap, like, they were more chewy than snap. But anyway.
Actually, I would prefer that.
Me too, and we'll get to that. We'll
All
come back
right.
around to that. Secondly, there was a chocolate chip cherry cookie.
Okay, I could see you could tie that into Christmas if you wanted
And then it's kind of got like a German situation.
to. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
And then the third one was oatmeal apricot.
Oh no, thank you.
You don't care for oatmeal cookies?
I do not. I'm an oatmeal. No. I do
No
not like
oatmeal cookies for you. I ate the shit. Me and Emily almost between us almost cleaned that plate by ourselves. We just kept eating the oatmeal apricot cookies. I'm actually first off, I'll go ahead and say it. I don't love cookies. They're my least favorite pastry, and it's only because it's a texture thing with me. So I like chewy cookies. I don't like crunchy cookies. But you never know when people say, "Hey, I got cookies."
Right.
What do you mean?
Right.
What does that mean?
Right.
Do you have chewy cookies or crunchy cookies? I want, like, if they're chewy cookies, I always pretty much like them, and I always like hot out of the oven cookies because they're always chewy then, right?
Right. Yes. And no matter what, even they get hard afterwards, crunchy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even if they're supposed to be hard cookies, they're chewy when they're right out of the oven.
Right. Because they're just molten and tasty.
So I'll always eat hot out of the oven cookies. I don't really care for crunchy cookies. I probably have a couple of exceptions. There's things you can do that'll make fine.
Of course, right.
But for the most part, I don't really like crunchy cookies. But so that makes me say I don't like cookies in general. But I've realized that actually it's mostly just a texture thing. It depends on the cookie.
Well, and we'll see because I made very specific cookies, which are the two of my favorite cookies from my childhood.
Okay.
So we'll see if you like either or both of them.
Okay.
So
that's fair.
And we'll get into what they are, and we'll do a tasting on air, of course.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly. Oh, we got a lot to talk about, so I don't think I'll go too much into all of it. So, let's start with beer. Beer is not cookies, but we are drinking it.
We are.
What do you have going on right now?
Oh, I'm drinking the Cold Mountain right now from. So we're both drinking Cold Mountain.
I am too.
Which probably goes really well with cookies.
I'm hoping.
Because it's got kind of a, vanilla and spicy sort of situation going.
Yeah.
We have a leftover from last week, frosted sugar cookie, which didn't taste like frosted sugar cookies.
No. The reason
it's just sweet beer, really.
The reason I brought this back out is because I didn't like it. But I'm intrigued enough by it because I can't figure out the actual flavor.
Okay.
I'm determined to drink more of it because it makes no sense to me. Because it doesn't taste like frosted sugar or cookie.
I've been there.
I guess it tastes like sugar.
yeah, it was sweet. That's the only thing I could tell you was it was a sweet beer. I will say that I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. Sometimes I'll eat or drink something that's kind of so bad, but in a different way than you're used to, that you'll go, I'm going to eat some more of that just to kind of because I can't put my finger on what it is about it. Right?
I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I don't like it, but and
then sometimes it grows on you if it's weird enough.
Sure.
Like pickled mango at the Indian place.
Sure.
The first time I had that was just weird, and then I kept eating them until I liked them.
Right.
Right.
And so we also have a waiting for us. We bought this the other day. We went on an adventure. Matt and I kidnapped Bill and Emily.
Oh yeah.
And we took them
alcohol adventure.
Yeah, we took them down to South Carolina where you can buy better liquor than you can buy in North Carolina.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. And we bought a shit ton of liquor, but we went to the beer store too, and we bought some beer. And we found this White Russian Nitro. And I'll tell you the reason I bought this is because it's not a Christmas beer, technically, right? Because it's White Russian. It's not like it's eggnog or something, which actually sounds really good. An eggnog beer? Oh, we have eggnog. That's irrelevant. We have actual eggnog, not eggnog beer. But either way, so the point is that the reason I bought it, because it's a cocktail as beer, is because one of my favorite Christmas beers, and I believe Jay said he found some in Michigan not long ago, is the Bell's holiday old fashioned. And it is a beer, and it tastes like a beer, but it also tastes like an old fashioned.
Okay.
And it's really, really good. So I was like, oh, this is a beer that tastes like a cocktail. Maybe that will be good. So we'll crack that open at some point.
We'll see.
And we'll let you know.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do.
Right.
So, all right. So let's talk cookies.
Okay.
Well, let's start like we do every show. Tell us about cookies.
So
Bill.
the thing about Christmas cookies specifically.
Yes, very specifically.
This time of year, my mom would always like, hey, it's time to make Christmas cookies, and we would roll out all the stuff. She would have, oh my god, we had a bin, like a little tackle box that must have had 30 or 40 different shaped cookie cutters.
Yeah.
All the typical, the reindeer, the snowman, the Christmas tree. I'm trying to remember what all the fuck else it had.
Usually a Santa,
a Santa
a
face.
Reindeer. Yeah.
Anyway, it would have all those things, and then I also had assorted weird ones. Like I had, because this was back in the early '80s. You would get the little plastic ones too.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like I think I had one that was like a McDonald. Like I swear to God, it was like a Ronald McDonald that McDonald's had given away.
Yeah.
And I think I had at least one Star Wars related one or something.
We had one. So Robin Hood flour is a popular brand of flour, right? And for a little while, they were giving away cookie cutters with their flour, and it was different Robin Hood characters. And we actually had a Will Scarlet. And that was my favorite cookie cutter when I was a kid.
The Will Scarlet.
It was a Will Scarlet. It was a fucking minstrel. And absolutely.
Was it? But it wasn't Christian Slater as Will Scarlet?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't know. It's just like general medieval Will Scarlet.
Okay.
Also, yes, I assume your comment here, Jay, is that the old fashioned is so good. It is. It is so good. It's expensive as fuck, too.
He was talking about the Will Scarlet being his favorite cookie.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Whose isn't? Who doesn't love it? But it was like, to that point, it was like the weird one.
Yeah. And I always had those too. Like I said, there were a couple of weird ones thrown in there that I had acquired from something.
We had a whole group of, because this is unrelated to Christmas, but because I hate crusts on bread, or at least did as a kid. So my mom, to get me to eat my food when I went to school, bought cookie cutters specifically.
And just cut your sandwich out.
Right, but obviously didn't want to get Christmas cookie cutters for that.
Okay.
So we had barn animals. So one of them was a chicken, and that became one of my favorite cookie cutters too. I'd make the Christmas chicken. I'd make chickens for every occasion.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. That's pretty cool. If I had a random thing like a Christmas chicken, I would have made that too, probably, because I made all the other stupid stuff, like whatever Star Wars character it was I had, and then the Ronald McDonald. Like I wouldn't make a lot of those because my mom would want, but I would always get to make like one or two.
Right. Yeah, exactly. No, that makes a difference.
And then also my favorite thing was while we were doing it, I would eat a certain amount of the dough.
Of course.
Because sugar cookie dough is just fucking delicious when it's still dough.
It's true.
And my mom was never a person who told me like, oh, you'll get worms or any of that shit. Like a friend of mine's mom said that when I was in high school. I remember hearing that. I was over at their house and she was making sugar cookies. And I was like, oh, can I have a piece of the dough? And she was like, no, you'll get worms. And I was like, what are you talking about? I've been eating dough my whole life. I've never gotten worms. You're out of your mind.
And I guess, my first thought would be, eggs, but the cookies I make don't have eggs, so it's not a big deal. But I guess there is an issue with raw flour. I guess with parasites and raw flour.
But those aren't worms. I mean, they're larvae maybe, but they're the kind of like they're not parasitic to humans.
Right?
They eat flour. You would digest these worms if were they in there.
I've eaten plenty of raw sugar.
If you eat flour, you've eaten some sort of bugs.
I promise you.
Anything related. Unfortunately, I hate to break it to you, but you've eaten bugs. Because the other day, my stepdaughter went to open up some cornbread mix that had been in there for some time.
Oh boy!
And then she opened it up, and of course they had hatched or whatever, and since died also.
Yeah.
But she was like, "What? How do they even get in there?" And I'm like, "Oh, I got news for you. They're in there. They're in there from the farm." Like at the very beginning, they're in there.
They didn't get there because of the in the post packaging.
It's not because of the way we're storing it. I mean, although you can
sometimes, that's another conversation.
You can put it in the freezer and keep them from ever hatching.
True,
but that doesn't mean they're not in there.
There are instances where you can get an infestation if you don't properly store it, but that's also a different topic. But that's not this show.
No.
So my question to you about your mom making cookies and pulling out all the cookie stuff: did she regularly bake throughout the year?
No.
This was it. Yep.
Oh, and I want to say the other thing we did was she made two kinds of cookies. She made these sugar cookies that were in shapes. And then she also made because my grandmother, my dad's mother, my mom and my dad were divorced when I was like 4 years old, but my mother had gotten my paternal grandmother's cookie recipe. Her Christmas cookies were actually more like Dutch wedding cookies or pecan sandies or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
My mom called them ladyfingers because she made them long and skinny, but they were pecan sandies.
Yeah, they were. They weren't. Ladyfingers are a thing.
Yeah, they weren't that. They were pecan sandies just because she called them that. But they were pecan sandies. Those were also. She made those with my grandmother's recipe. I think they were about half butter.
Yeah,
and then they were of course they were rolled in powdered sugar after they were done.
Right,
they were fucking delicious. I honestly, so to this day she doesn't make the shaped cookies anymore. She does sometimes still make the pecan sandies, and then now she also makes these. And this is a common Southern thing. These little cheese crackers, which are not really cooked. Well, they're kind of like. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like spicy cheese crackers.
Yeah, I wouldn't know about them had I not moved to the South because it's not a Midwestern
It's a pretty
thing,
common Southern thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're so I guess the technique is the same as a cookie, but they're really a savory.
Yeah, they're a savory cookie.
Thing.
Exactly. They're spicy and cheesy.
Yeah.
And some people put sausage in them too. My family does not, but I've had them from other people where they have little bits of sausage in them, and I'm not knocking it.
All right, that's fair. All right, so why don't we? Because I want to eat these cookies that are sitting in front of us.
Okay.
So let's do a quick station break. Because this is a thing we do for no apparent reason. Because nobody pays us any money, but whatever. We like to talk about our friends who make nice things.
Yeah.
So I figured today, because we're getting into holiday shopping season,
Right.
if you have somebody that's impossible to buy for, especially like a nerd in your family, a geeky folk like us,
Yeah.
check out Geek Orthodox.
Yeah.
So
you can get them a nice. You can spend crazy money. You could get him a real stained glass thing if he's got any for sale right now. I mean, that sometimes these take time,
sure,
and you might be on the fence there.
That's for next year.
But he's got clings that
Yes.
look like real stained glass that you just stick to the window, and people, hey, if you don't go over and touch it, you won't know the difference from
That's
6
true.
feet away.
And they look really cool.
They do look really cool. We've actually got the entire set of his Hogwarts houses at our house on one of the windows. And then he's also got really cool T-shirts too.
Yes.
If you like T-shirts, I mean, who don't?
Who don't? Actually, for a long time, my entire T-shirt collection was all
Ian's,
Geek Orthodox Ian Leno stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, check it out if you need some last-minute gifts. Place your orders now.
And if you don't buy from Geek Orthodox, I wanted to put this out there too. If you don't buy from Geek Orthodox, do buy something local if you can help it.
Sure.
And if you don't see anything you like locally, buy a gift card from a local shop or local restaurant, because that'll, wintertime is tough for a lot of places, and even just buying a gift card will help keep them afloat. So
absolutely. No, speaking of, actually, I thought about this one earlier and I meant to do it and I forgot when I clicked on. But if you're in Southeast Michigan, man, you want a gift certificate for your dog loving friends?
Yeah, there you go.
Radiant Paws Pet Massage is offering holiday gift certificates.
Very well. That's what I'm saying. Gift certificates, man. Small businesses like thrive off that stuff. So if you can't pick out anything, if you can't find the perfect thing, a gift certificate would also go a long way. And like I said, if you don't buy from one of the people we mentioned, buy from somebody local that you know who's selling a gift card.
Yeah.
It's good for local people, who are struggling maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, do that. Send some money their way. And now I really want to fucking eat one of these cookies.
Okay.
That's what I want to say.
Why don't we?
All right. So the first cookie I would like you to try. Wait, we got a little thing. So I'm going to pick up mine. Here we go.
Okay.
So one of the cookie cutters in my current cookie cutter selection are Michigans.
Oh.
Or mittens for the rest of the world. But
if you live anywhere.
if you live anywhere else, but I was like, look, it's a Michigan. So I frosted mine to look like it's a Detroit Lions cookie. So it's blue and silver.
Yeah.
But the other one, the one that I made for you specifically, is just green and red because it's holiday.
And I'd asked her if she had put map points on it, and she said, well, it's kind of map points.
I mean,
But it's not really because you put all of it in the
I
middle.
did, yeah. But I
And there's
should have put
nothing
it in
there,
the
right?
southeast.
Like-
Yeah, that's where it should have. That's
Like
where
that's
it should
just woods.
So for several reasons, this cookie is from a specific region of the world, which is what region? This region. So, and I'm gonna give you a little history, but give this fucker
Okay.
a taste right here.
Hey, not too crunchy.
That's a cookie you like?
mm.
So I've made the two favorite cookies of my childhood. The weird part is they're both very similar recipes, but very different cookies.
Hmm.
In the end, you don't hate this?
No, I don't hate it.
All right, this is, as you can see, this is the actual recipe that my mother wrote out. The Spartan sugar cookie. Can't read it there, but you know, it was in her little recipe, little folio, whatever. But it's basically mostly made of cream cheese and butter
Huh.
and sugar.
Okay. So you said she didn't put any egg in it. Is that right?
No egg.
Interesting. I mean,
Cream cheese, butter,
it doesn't
sugar.
taste significantly different. Although, yeah.
Well, that green cheese gives it a little tanginess.
Mhm.
Like, it's good shit. Like, it's
No, I
good
like
stuff.
it. It's just fine.
As you watch us eat cookies,
I will tell you this. My mom one time made.
I saw that you had that pulled up.
Sorry, I don't know if you can see this, guys.
You can make-
One
yeah.
time my mom made this cookie. It's because I saw this in the. I think it was in the Joy of Cooking. Maybe this was or it was some big cookbook. It's one of the cookbooks that everybody owned. I saw this, and so this deal was you made 2 batches of dough. You made a white batch and a red batch,
Mhm.
and it's a sugar cookie, but you also you either put peppermint extract or you can just bust up Starlight Mints in it,
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
which I think was what she did. And
Crushed candy
I
canes
saw
or
them.
whatever?
I saw them in. Yeah, you could do crushed candy canes if you wanted.
Mhm.
That's the same shit.
It really is.
I saw it. I think we were flipping through the book one time looking for something different, and I saw these. And this was I think I was in high school at this point. And I saw these, and I was like, "Let's do these." And she's like, "Those look complicated." I'm like, "They look
No,
delicious."
Actually, to be fair, they're not like you've got me thinking. I forgot about those. I knew those were a thing because we made them a couple times when I was a kid.
Uh-huh.
They're actually not that complicated because all you do is make like I could make this same sugar cookie recipe.
Yes, and you make one batch that's red, and then you
Yeah.
just put some mint.
And then you do the twisty twist, and that's it.
Mhm.
Like it's actually pretty simple to be fair.
No, but she, it's one more step, I guess.
I guess. I guess it is.
But she made them for that one year because I really got on her about it. Like, these look cool. Let's do this, And then after that, I would constantly ask her about them again and again and again, So if I ever see these anywhere, I would like to have them again because
Oh, sure.
They're
No,
just-
I might. I mean, they won't. If I use my own sugar cookie recipe, they may not taste exactly the same, but they'd
they'll be
be
close enough.
good.
Yeah,
I mean, they might be better.
who knows?
For that.
Could be.
Whatever. That might be better. All right. So the second cookie we have to taste,
All right.
and then we'll get into the rest of the shit. But I have a visual aid here because I made a bunch of cookies specifically for the show, but of course, 2 of us can't eat 30 cookies on the show. I mean, we could try, but
No, I can't.
so I've been taking them to places and people keep saying, and I quote, "You have a cookie press." So it's a cookie press cookie. And everybody's like, "I can't believe you have one of those." But
Yeah, and I said the same. I walked in this
it's
evening.
my mom had
And
one
I
of these.
I saw it on her shelf, and I was like, "My mom had one of those,"
So this is a new version, right?
Right.
So it's modern. So
Mhm.
it works with this little plunger, and it actually works with clicks.
Yeah, it's just a caulk gun.
Yeah, it's basically a caulk gun for cookies. But the one that I had growing up was the original Miro cookie press. The reason I point that out is because I still have the actual booklet from the original Miro cookie press. And you can see on the back here, all the Miro things you could buy.
Oh wow!
But the reason I still have the booklet is because my very, very favorite, those sugar cookies are really good. And they're my favorite sugar cookie. But I have here they're called Holly Wreaths. Holly Wreaths. See that there? You can see this is well loved because it's we use this a lot. Yeah. And I think you can see where we fingerprints of stuff.
Yeah, it's probably got eggs spilled on it or something.
But so it's a very similar recipe to the sugar cookie recipe, except that it's made. Technically, you would make it into a wreath. I don't have the time or energy to do that.
That's too much.
Yeah, so I use the tree press, as you can see here, and I make little trees out of it. But in the old days, it would actually be like a small, like, I don't know, a smaller thing that you would actually pipe out a wreath. And sort of press it together.
Before holly is in wreaths, it grows on a tree. So that's
I think it's technically a bush.
Holly will grow into a full-blown tree. I've got holly trees on my property. I could show you fucking big-ass holly trees.
I love holly. Holly is one of my favorites.
I've got a piece of, if you want another holly bush, I got one I could dig up and bring you.
I love me a holly.
Okay. Well,
we had some in Michigan, and people told us we could never grow it, and it grew just fine.
Anyway, so grab one beside my house.
Grab one of these little cookies here. So I will tell you, I make tasty cookies, but I do not make pretty cookies.
I mean,
so
they're not ugly.
Right. But part of the problem is you
it discolored your green a little.
Well, no, the green of the cookie is fine. If you notice, the actual icing is turquoise.
Oh,
that wasn't on purpose. It was that the bottle of turquoise icing looked like it was the same as the bottle of, or turquoise food coloring looked like it was the same as the.
Are you a little colorblind? Maybe
I am. I am color deficient. That is actually true.
She's got turquoise green color blindness. I mean, turquoise, to be fair, is a shade of green.
No, you're not wrong. I actually do have a color deficiency, so I can't tell the difference between shades of colors. And that's true. Like, I can't tell black from brown. You show me a black, like a dark brown, like a light brown. I can
like when you see when you see Count Chocula, you don't really think it's that weird because he just looks goth to you, right?
Exactly. Exactly. I had a business suit when I was working in an office that I swear to God, my entire life I thought it was black, and everyone told me it was navy blue, and I'm like, that's not. But literally every other person on the planet told me it was navy blue. I did not believe them. I thought it was black. To this day, I think it was black. It wasn't. It was navy blue, but I couldn't tell the difference.
So there's a difference
of these two cookies,
but I can't really. Right, it's very subtle.
There's not a big difference.
That's what I just said.
It's basically made with the same ingredients.
Okay.
And the reason they're my two favorite cookies is because obviously I like this flavor profile. So
it's not bad. I like it. I mean, yes, it's sweet and vanilla. That's mainly. And
that it's also made with cream cheese. And I think cream cheese, man.
I'm with you on the cream cheese thing. I actually make cornbread with cream cheese because it gives it sometimes sour cream. It started because one time I was making cornbread and I got so far as I already had I had the mix in the bowl and I think egg cracked and then realized I didn't have any milk or cream.
And then I was
like, fuck, what am I gonna do now? I've already cracked the egg. Like you can't put this shit back in the box. So I was just like rifling through the refrigerator. I was like, oh, I got sour cream. That'll do, and I just squirted a bunch of sour cream in there and made it. And I was like, well, actually, this was better.
Right. Right.
So, sometimes that kind of stuff happens. Like you make a substitution and it turns out to be like a happy accident. And you're like, wow, that's better. I'll do that forever now.
No, there's a couple of recipes because I'm not like a professional chef by any means. There's a couple of recipes where I had to make a substitution and it turned out way better.
I'm clearly not even the kind of person who looks to see if they have all the ingredients before they begin. So it happens to me a lot. Like I'll start making a thing and then go, shit, I'm out of that. Okay, what else is like that kind of,
Right.
Speaking of, okay, so you're in the house and you're making coffee in the morning, and you find that you have no creamer. What's your first go-to as a substitute?
All right, so I don't like coffee.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter. But I do drink, I drink tea, and I only drink tea with milk. So if there is no cream in the house, I will throw out, or if there's no milk in the house, I use milk. If there's no milk in the house, which if there's no milk, there's no cream for sure.
Yeah.
I will throw out that tea.
You just,
I will not drink it.
Okay.
I actually started keeping mini moos, like the little fake creamers. Just in
they keep,
because they keep, and I keep them up there just in case I run out of milk or the milk goes bad.
Gotcha. Those are the
So,
backups. Okay.
Yeah. So what's your go-to?
Oh, I will do any. Like I actually have a
Ice
hierarchy.
cream.
Vanilla ice cream is first.
I mean, that's fair.
I did that this morning.
Butter.
Butter I have done. It's not as good.
People talk about buttered coffee.
Unsalted butter is better than salted butter, probably.
Sure.
Both of them, I will tell you, the weird thing about it is it's not bad when you're drinking it, but when you get done and your lips are all kind of greasy,
Right.
you're like, that's weird. It feels like you got like petroleum jelly on your
Although
lips.
that said, so a new bakery just opened right up the street from us, like walking distance up the street. It's and they make what they call the buttered chai. And I went in and got that buttered chai, and it was like a chorus of angels.
Yeah.
I have never had anything so delicious.
Yeah.
As that
Did it
buttered
leave your
chai.
lips greasy?
I didn't care. I don't.
You're like,
I don't
whatever.
know. It doesn't matter. It was an orgasmic experience to drink
Okay.
that. It was amazing.
All right.
I've since gone and gotten another one, but now I'm like, I can't go get it every time because I will die.
Yeah, you'll just clog some arteries.
But it is so fucking good. If you happen to be in North Asheville for any reason, actually, I'm not going to give that away. I'm not going to tell you where to go. I'm going to save that for me.
Oh, okay.
So you
She
can't
doesn't
go
want
there.
to. She doesn't walk in there and be like 20th in line.
Why is everybody in this restaurant?
That happens to me every time I like a place and I start telling people. I think I'm just gonna tell 2 or 3 people. Just enough. But then those people tell people, and then next thing you know, you can't go there anymore.
I am pretty sure this place won't be underrun with people.
Oh,
All right, I know you just poured yourself another drink, but let's.
it's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you
Oh,
a
yeah,
little
let's
of
do
this. We have a separate cup, so
Yeah.
here we go. This is that. It's nitro, so I'm gonna pour it to you
Yeah. In
for
case
you,
you
and
didn't
then
hear
it's
it
gonna
just
give
hiss
you.
when she opened it. Like
Yeah.
that's what
It's gonna give you like right now. It looks like it's
all
all
fizz.
fizz, but it is, but it's
it
not
is, but when
carbonated.
it's gonna cascade.
It's really cool. I love watching a nitro. here.
Nitros are the best. I do like watching them too.
Like I could literally. I've taken videos of nitros doing their thing because it's so.
Oh shit, yeah. I love getting myself like a Boddingtons or something like that, and they're so fucking smooth.
Right, and then look at that head on. Like once it does its thing, look at that head on
yeah,
that.
it's like a meringue, right?
Yeah,
Which you also are a fan of, right?
I do like meringues. Oh god, I love meringues. All right, let's.
Okay.
We got a preview of this before the show, but let's see what we think. All right, All right, so the description we got, because Matt, who is also here in the house, had some, and he said it was really sweet. But you know what I taste mostly is the coffee.
I did too.
So I don't think it tastes so really
I got a blast
sweet.
of coffee first. It tastes like it tastes like one of those coffee blondes
Mhm.
as a nitro kind of to me. You know what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
think I hate this.
I don't either.
No, this isn't too sweet.
I could probably drink a whole one.
Yeah,
I mean, I
well,
probably shouldn't now because I've had all these other beers.
Well, I'll say
What
we
was
have
it?
a
Like-
whole one.
What was the percentage on it? It was 8.9. So
8.9,
yeah, I don't need a whole one tonight. But if I was only having like 3 beers,
Well, you can still drink one next week. We've got more. I think we got 2 more.
We'll
so.
try it. We'll try it next week.
I actually don't hate this. This is pretty tasty.
It's pretty smooth, and like I said, it's like if you've had everybody's got a coffee blonde now, I think,
Right.
or every third brewery anyway.
And I don't love the taste of coffee, but this has enough of that like creaminess
Mm-hmm.
that it does. It tastes like a White Russian. It's as advertised, to be fair.
It's pretty good.
I don't dislike that.
I mean, this is left hand, so you can get this anywhere. I imagine
Sure.
if you're in the Midwest, you can get it. They're out of Colorado, right?
Mhm.
But I feel like you could probably find this wherever beers are sold. You know?
Yeah. Wherever fine beers are sold. Yeah, left hand is pretty.
I mean, they were. I want
Popular.
to say they're owned by one of the like they're
Or at least a
InBev
medium.
or-
Yeah, I don't know if they're InBev, but at least a medium company.
Yeah,
Like
I think they actually are owned by a larger consortium, but they still put out some decent, flavors. I drink one of their milk stouts or whatever.
yeah,
Like
their
you
milk
were-
stouts.
Yeah,
I mean, well, it's one of the most available because milk stout. This is not the topic of the show. But milk stouts, one of my favorites is from a Carolina brewery, North Carolina
Sure.
brewery. But you can't find it everywhere. You can find it like in the Southeast, and that's about it.
yeah.
And it's really fucking good. But Left Hand makes a milk stout,
It's
just a
comparable.
straight up milk stout that's comparable, and you can find it literally everywhere.
I think
so.
those are the two milk stouts I've ever had. Actually, are Duck Rabbit and Left Hand.
Well,
right?
and this is a white stout, so I'm assuming it's a white milk stout. It may not be, but I'm assuming it is, with coffee and vanilla. So a white stout is basically something that would be brewed as a stout, but it uses less dark grains,
Okay.
so it ends up this color instead of brown.
Now, I will tell you, as I keep drinking it, I taste less coffee, and it sort of eases into some other flavors.
Frankly, I'm okay with that.
No, it's not-
that's what a White Russian should taste like too.
Well, that's what it's doing. Yeah, it's like I'm mostly getting like sort of cream and vanilla now.
Yeah, for sure.
As I get further down in
I do not dislike. I mean, I don't think I could drink a ton of it. Like I couldn't just buy a 4-pack and down them.
Oh yeah, no.
But-
I think you'd feel lousy if you did.
I feel okay drinking. This is pretty tasty.
Mhm.
I don't hate it
Yeah.
at
so,
all.
All right.
All right.
Back to cookies,
endorsement.
though.
Back to cookies. All right. Okay, here's a question. What do you put out for Santa?
Well,
Well, I know this is a loaded question because not only would you have had your childhood experiences, but now you have dozens of children living in your house.
yeah. So
And that's an exaggeration.
at my house, I am Santa,
Right?
and I say Santa likes tacos and beer more than he likes cookies and milk. But when I was a kid, yeah, I guess I put cookies out for Santa, and they would be the
They
sugar
would be
cookies
these
I had made.
cookies. Yeah.
And I would tell you, like, the fun part about it, aside from, like I said, eating the dough while we were making them, was also getting all the accoutrements out. The thing, because my mom would let me, like, she would make the dough and roll the dough out.
Sure.
And then after the cookies were cut, she would let me do the decorating. That's
Yes.
usually assigned to the child, is like, you do the decorating.
Absolutely. Which is I will point out why my cookies look like this.
Because you haven't really progressed since.
I have not. I'll eat this one. You can have the tree, which is no
What is
better.
that one? A cat?
It's supposed to be a package.
Oh,
So I
I
suspect
thought it looks like a Japanese cat. Is what it looks like. You know, it's like
like
some
a
sort of-
bonsai cat?
no, like a
Nyan cat?
like something like that, like some kind of cute twee Japanese cartoon of a cat. You know,
It's supposed to be a present. So here's the thing, right? If I were better at decorating, right? So you could do like the bow a different color, and you could give it like if you used royal icing.
yeah, sure.
Did all the piping, which I literally am not going to do. I
Yeah.
will never do.
We did also used to have like 2 or 3 little, you know, because you can buy the gel icings, you know.
Yeah.
And so we usually had like a red and a green or something, you know,
Sure,
of that, you know,
sure.
so if you wanted to get fancy.
So, all right. So to that point, so we should talk about some of these right here.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you can't see them. Okay, let's do this. Let's start here. So earlier today, Bill sends me a text message and says, I have a visual of it.
I wanted to talk about these because especially the ones on. Are they seeing it the same direction I'm seeing it? I just want to make sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's not
So-
mirrored or
Okay,
anything.
so the ones on the left, the silver BBs,
Yes.
if you will.
Or the French dragues.
Yeah,
one
if that's what
assumes
you
it's
want to
how-
call, if that's what you call them.
I don't
now.
even know how that's pronounced.
I don't draggies.
Draggies. Well, I assume it's in
Draggies.
French. So
Drague. The one of the E's has an accent, and the other one does not.
Yeah, so it'd be like Renee. So it'd be like Drague.
Dragues.
Dragues. I don't know.
French
I
dragues.
know.
Anyway, what their people call dragues and what I would call BBs.
Right. I mean, we would call them BBs for sure.
Because they look like BBs to me.
For sure.
And I would know. I've got one in my cheek.
That's never. These are the size number 4, by the way.
Oh yeah, and I think that was the other thing that kept me. So I said to Laura I was going to buy these for her. That was my intention when I went to the store. They were $9 for a set. Also, they're not quite the size I'm used to. They were a little bigger than the ones that we had
Right.
growing up.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, maybe not. But I had intended to buy them. But I loved putting these on things. I would use them for the nose of the snowman.
Oh yeah.
And the nose of the reindeer.
Mhm.
And that kind of thing, you know. And then I'd put a couple of them on the Christmas trees as decor. you know.
Right.
I just fucking loved this particular. I don't know why. This was one of my favorite of all the Christmas, whatever you want to call this shit, you know, the fancy sugars, if you will.
Right. Because that is, so those are specifically, they're actually a sugar that's designed for its purpose, right? They're BB shaped sugars.
Yes.
Which is on the other side of the slide. You have sent us colored fucking sugar.
Yes.
Which, so to
Which
that
everyone
point,
has.
Yeah, to that point, exactly. Which everybody has. Because you want to hold up that red one right there?
Sure, yeah.
We have a couple of different brands of them.
Yes.
Yeah, so we've got a few. I use these regularly.
Right?
So I love the red sugar is my favorite.
Yeah.
And not
This
necessarily
one gives you
because of
cancer.
it will. But not because of its flavor specifically. It's that it has a shaker spout.
Oh, wait, so that one does. Oh, that one you just kind of like
this one you have to hope for the best.
You go willy-nilly on that one.
You do. Yes, you do. But then I also have, all right, so I've got,
this was on the Michigan cookie.
yes, this was on the Michigan cookie. Same
It's-
thing.
it-
It's silver.
It's not glitter. It's actually silver
but
sugar.
they're actually bigger crystals than the green ones.
But that's what this is kind of like. So the colored sugars are like, they're like edible glitter,
yes.
if you will.
And this one is the blue one.
Yeah.
Which is funny. This is nearly full. I've had this for many years.
Because you don't celebrate Hanukkah.
No, well, no, I use them. I use the blue all the time. I love blue as a Christmas
Oh.
color.
Well, it's a Detroit Lions color. You
Yeah,
you make more,
exactly.
you need to make more. You need
I need to make a bunch of Michigans.
You need to get a lion shaped
Oh,
cookie cutter.
yes. I could just make more mittens. I could just make all.
You can
the
make lots of mittens, but if you had a lion also, wouldn't that be? Then you'd use all the blue.
That's true.
You
I would use
just-
all the blue. But then there's
All right.
so this one. You actually, I'm going to show you like from the bottom. Okay,
You
it's
can't
not-
really see it.
No, you cannot. And I don't think
You're
I can.
So they're snowflake shaped.
They're snowflakes. They're basically
These are-
jimmies.
So these were my second favorite after the BBs were the snowflakes. And my mom, I think her snowflakes were like red, yellow, and white. But
yeah, I have.
sorry,
I have
red,
red,
green,
green,
and
and
white.
Yeah.
But yes, and then we had
So
we had-
regular jimmies, right?
Yeah.
So what we
We
call
had-
rainbow sprinkles.
Yes, we had the rainbow jimmies, and we also had some Christmas jimmies,
Which are just red and green.
yes,
Yes.
and then we had these kind of little beaded ones.
So we call them nonpareils in the U.S., but in England they're called hundreds and thousands.
these are.
Yes,
That's a lot.
that's a lot of words to describe
they're
that.
extra as
They
fuck
are.
over there.
But yeah, no, I will tell you, you like the BBs. These are my favorite.
Okay.
I love the
It's
shit
all,
out of
sometimes
these.
it's about the ratio of coating. You know, it's like I prefer the mini M&Ms to regular sized M&Ms
Sure.
because I like the chocolate to candy ratio on the mini M&Ms more than I like the regular ones. You know.
But speaking of the last two cookies, so the only reason I grabbed these cookies, I actually made more.
Oh,
These are the same as the first ones we
All
ate,
right.
right?
yeah.
But I grabbed them because it represented the red frosting I made and the green frosting I made.
Okay.
But
They're pink and
they're,
and
which is how it works out,
my
right?
colors are blush and bashful.
Exactly. But that is how it works, right? Like you can never make using just household food coloring.
It doesn't turn out like you want.
It never turns like you can't make this Christmas red by any means.
No.
But I use the
I mean, you have to
nonpareils
put so much red in there that you'd have to go to see the doctor after
Yeah.
Christmas and be like,
You're gonna wonder when you go to the bathroom.
Am I
after
dying?
I'm like, oh my god, did I eat?
you'd actually be
beets?
better off probably using like a natural dye, like using beet
Mm.
juice or something. And I've had things, by the way, that were dyed red with beet juice, and
Sure.
and it gets a brighter red than fake food coloring. FYI,
Yeah, but these are so good.
they are.
We're gonna fill up. We're gonna have Bill has a
Mm.
pizza after this.
Are we having pizza again?
We are. We needed to free up some freezer space.
Oh, all
So
right,
we're having a pizza today.
whatever. I don't care.
I know you'll eat what we make you. You're like, I came over here to talk nonsense at the internet. I'm gonna eat what you make
I
me.
just want to drink beer and talk nonsense. I
Yeah.
don't give a shit. You feed me afterwards. That's great. That's
That's
a bonus.
Exactly. All right. So we've talked about all these cookies. Oh my god, we have literally taken up all this time with almost nothing.
Oh,
Because I've got two things I specifically want to talk
well,
about.
let's get to it.
All right, let's start with this one. What is your favorite kind of Christmas cookie? Like, if you had to pick an ultimate Christmas cookie, what's your very favorite?
Probably those pecan sandies I was talking about. Those are fucking delicious. Or them are those cheese crackers, which aren't really cookies, but it's again in the South. It's a thing you'll get if somebody brings you a cookie dish. That's probably in there.
And it's only made at the holidays.
Oh yeah. Oh sorry. Also, what do you call the things? Thumbprints.
Thumbprint cookies
with the fucking jelly. Is that right?
We called them Swedish thumbprints, I think.
Okay, but they have it's a sugar cookie with jelly in it.
And you literally, to make the depression, you stick
somebody's had their fucking hands in it.
Yeah. That's true. My mom made those. They were my least favorite, but she made those.
Those are pretty good.
She made one too that was like that. It was the same concept with the thumbprint, and it was rolled in nuts, like crushed pecans or walnuts or something.
All right.
And it had darker jelly, like grape jelly or something in it. And I don't know if that's a Midwestern thing or if that was just a my mom thing.
Right. You lost me there.
I don't like it. I did not like it. I did not enjoy that at all.
That sounds like a weird mix of shit.
I agree. I did not eat that shit. I did not enjoy
the jelly should be raspberry or strawberry, FYI, on those ones I was just talking about.
Mm.
Something tart, preferably. I mean, it could be lemon curd and it would still be okay, but I don't want anything sweet like grape jelly.
I guess disgusting. It might have been like a dark. I don't know. I can't imagine my mother even would have used like currant, but it would have been something darker. Like
that's even worse than grape. That's
sure.
That's like treacly sweet. Like I had currant once ever, and I was like, I'm gonna gag on this. This is awful.
So obviously, the 2 cookies that we just ate were my favorites because they're the only ones I still made.
Sure. Okay.
My least favorite cookie. So what's your least favorite cookie?
I don't like chocolate chip. I fucking hate chocolate. But most of the time they're crunchy. Unless they're right out of the oven, they're crunchy. I'm not, and also chocolate's not a flavor. Like chocolate's, I'm not a chocoholic. Chocolate's just a fucking flavor to me. Okay. And also, so if you, chocolate doesn't, it's not very forgiving if you burn it a little bit. It has a very carbony.
It gets bitter fast.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Like there's things that you can, like sugar cookies, you can burn them and it just gets that creme brulee sort of flavor, right? Like it becomes caramel.
Right.
But chocolate does not work that way. And I fucking hate chocolate chip cookies. Like that's really, I don't like them. I've never liked them. They're my least favorite cookie on earth. My favorite cookie of all time is probably a macadamia white chocolate. And white chocolate is a misnomer. There's no chocolate in that.
It's cocoa butter.
Yeah, and that's it. It's coconut butter and a little bit of vanilla or something, right? Like it's not. But anyway.
Well, no, I mean white chocolate is made of cocoa butter.
Okay, but it's not chocolate.
It's not. Yeah, cocoa butter is made from cacao, but it's not. Yeah. It's complicated.
Anyway,
I like white chocolate, and I think most people consider it a type of chocolate because it comes from the cacao.
Okay,
but it is not.
It doesn't taste like chocolate.
It's not chocolate.
So I like white chocolate macadamia nut, or sometimes people put cranberry in that too, and that's good too.
Which would make it a good holiday recipe.
Oh my god, I'd eat the hell out of those. I'd probably eat 5 or 6. And I don't, like I said, I don't like cookies per se. Like I don't eat loads of cookies. So if I eat 5 cookies, it's a cookie I like. But my least favorite cookie is probably chocolate chip.
I eat most of the cookies I eat are during the holidays because it's like my mother and like your mother. The only time I really bake is during the pandemic or during the holidays. Yeah, that was it. So yeah, I enjoy making cookies during the holiday. I'm going to make a bunch more cookies. We're hosting a Christmas Eve party.
Peanut butter cookies are good, but nobody makes those during Christmas.
I do actually honestly thought about making, we have a great ass peanut butter recipe.
Oh yeah?
I love this cookie. It's a 3-ingredient peanut butter cookie recipe. 4-ingredient.
And when people make peanut butter cookies, they put the hashtag with the fork. Opinion gang on the cookie, right?
Yes. So I will tell you. So I want to briefly mention this before we close out the show.
Okay.
Because as you saw, I have very specific opinions on what cookies are. Like what are Christmas cookies?
Okay.
And those were the ones you ate.
All right.
And a handful of ones I don't make that I didn't like.
Okay.
But when I started dating Matt, who is part Italian. I learned that there's a whole other category of cookies that I was unaware of. and I call them 3D cookies.
3D cookies.
They're basically Italian Christmas cookies.
Okay, and what
So
are they?
They all, like, that's the thing. Like, they're not just like cutouts or press cookies. They're 3D. Like, they all have, like, they're things like they're just mounds of cookies, or they're like fried cookies, weird ass cookies. I actually wanted to go for, we don't have, the problem is living in Asheville, we don't have a good Italian bakery.
You don't have a place to get them.
There's just nowhere to get them. So I can't even demonstrate to you what they are. But the difference to me is that they were 3D, like would be tartlets, or like, and I'm like, a tartlet isn't a cookie, folks.
So the other day we were at a thing and he bought a bunch of macarons. Is that closer to?
It's closer, but it's not the same. Macarons is clear. It's a very,
French, obviously.
Yes.
But it's in the same neighborhood at least.
Yes,
right?
like they have, like, it's not just I cut sugar cookies out with a cookie cutter and frosted it. They all have, like, they've got depth to them.
Right.
And frankly, if you have a better palate, maybe they're better. I don't know.
You don't care for them.
I did not like them. Like, because a lot of them are made with a lot of nuts and a lot of, like, dried fruits and things. And the tartlets are the ones that got me. I'm like, so they're tiny tarts. Honey, those aren't cookies. Like,
those are little pies.
If they're in a tart shell, they can't be classified as cookies.
They're small pies.
They're small pies. And often they would be made with,
I would prefer that because as I said, I would prefer pie or cake to cookies. So I would rather have small tarts. You might
very much like the tartlets. The tartlets are the ones that got me.
Actually, the thumbprints, the reason I like them is because they're almost tart.
They're little pies. Except somebody stuck their dirty ass thumb in them.
That's the only thing that gets me, is that somebody stuck their dirty ass thumb in them.
Like, see, that's the thing. Like, we didn't know in the very early 80s, we didn't really have the same food safety measures, especially at home. Like, we didn't talk about cross contamination. People would just
if somebody brought a plate of cookies to class and said, "Hey, you want these?" Everybody would be like, "Fuck yeah!" And they didn't even think about the fact that somebody was probably like, the whole time they were making them.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess technically that bakes out. It's probably not even.
I will tell you,
whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Maybe not for the cookies I made you, but I have a tendency to lick a spoon.
Hey, you know what?
They got cooked.
I think we've all licked a spoon or a whisk at one point in our lives.
Sure. The goal is not to put that whisk back in.
You do that when you're done.
You do that when you're 100% done. Well, right now I've tried to. I have actually tiny spoons that I use for tasting now.
Tiny spoons.
Yeah, they're like this big.
Because you like diminutive things.
I do. I like
because they're cute.
Or I'll just use if I want to give a taste, I'd use one finger, like a pinky finger.
But your finger's still been in the food.
Well, yeah, but it was clean when it started. Like, I didn't go
I'm just giving you shit. I don't care.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't care.
All right. Well,
I'm not that person. I don't give a fuck.
You're probably not going to die. You're probably not going to die.
Yeah, and if I do, my immune system was so weak anyway. It really isn't your fault.
So, all right. So here's a question for you.
Okay.
Do you prefer to make or buy your Christmas cookies?
I mean, again, at the end of the day, I'd rather have a pie or cake. I mean, I'd prefer somebody to bring me a tin of them, I guess, like as a goodwill gesture.
Speaking of tins.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. The old Schrodinger's cookies.
Right. Is inside the tin, is it cookies or a sewing kit or a button collection?
the old dance tin.
Yes.
So, and it's funny actually. I don't remember ever having that as a child, aside from like seeing it as a place to have sewing notions in.
Right. Yeah.
But then as I got older, and started working, and working at businesses particularly, we would usually, from like various vendors, would usually send the company a tin full of dance butter cookies.
Right.
And then we would proceed to eat them throughout December, I guess, in the break room.
Growing up, I honestly didn't know that cookies came in that tin.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, that was probably my first exposure to, like, oh shit, cookies are in this thing? That's weird.
Like, I remember, I don't know that it was the traditional cookie tin. It was not the dance, but it was similar. We had a tin when I was growing up, and it was my grandmother's, and then my mother had it. It was literally just buttons. And if we were ever
yeah.
doing a craft project or a hair project or whatever,
Yeah.
we'd get out the tin of buttons.
Right.
And sometimes they were really cool
Or even
buttons.
replacing a button on a shirt.
Sure.
You dump it all over the fucking table and you rifle through it.
There's something that looks somewhat similar.
Yeah. No, and I have one at home, and it's my grandmother's buttons actually, and I think my wife kind of loves it that we've got my grandmother's buttons,
Sure.
you know, and most of them are from the fucking 50s or something.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So they have rhinestones and shit. Like some of them will never match a damn thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But you're like, one day, motherfucker, I will
I'm gonna
something.
have a project and I'm gonna need this
God
shit.
damn it.
But they're in a Christmas. They are literally in a Christmas tin.
Yeah.
It's got like a fucking snowscape on the front or something.
Yep,
You know?
for sure. Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's a key part of most people's Christmas cookie experience. Because for a lot of people, they don't even know that those were cookies. They were just buttons or other sewing items, right?
Right. Yeah. I think we it's mostly buttons, but there might be a at least a package of piping thrown on top.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Right. Right. All right. As I get to the bottom of this nitro stout, it starts to taste less like cream and sugar and tastes only like coffee.
Oh, is that right?
And I don't like it
Mine
so
did
much.
the opposite, but maybe you had let it settle or something. Like I drank mine quicker than you did. So
Yeah, you did. That may have been a smart. Maybe mine got too warm.
yeah, I don't know.
There's some that happens.
I felt like I enjoyed the change of taste.
I enjoyed it most until I got to that last swig, and maybe it just got too warm.
And that happens to me a lot of times with you know, like Imperial. That's why I don't like Imperials is because the last two swigs are always like, you
Right.
know, like what is that? Like,
That's just straight liquor.
that's too much flavor.
All right. This is almost over.
Okay,
And we should probably quit while we're ahead, right?
I guess so.
All
Where
right.
we at? Oh,
We're at the end. I think we covered most of this stuff.
all right.
I thought we weren't going to cover most of this, but we covered all of it. And we didn't cover frosting.
Oh, what about it?
Well, because I literally make frosting by taste.
Oh,
So I
okay.
just put some confectioner sugar, some milk, and some butter, and some cream cheese, and mix it up until it tastes good.
Okay,
And that's how I make
fair.
frosting.
I guess. I mean,
But I don't make like royal icing or anything. Like,
what is royal icing? Explain that to me.
all right, I don't know the details because I've never made it, but it's when you buy fancy cookies, like fancy decorated cookies,
Mhm.
where they're really like, they look well drawn. That's royal icing, and it's made with meringue and a few other things like meringue powder.
that's
So it makes it like
so
a hard icing.
it looks good, but it tastes terrible.
yes, yeah, but it's not fondant.
it's-
It's like
I
better
know,
than
but it's
fondant.
the same beef I have with fondant, which
Yeah.
is that it looks good, tastes terrible. Like at the point when the thing looks better than it tastes, fuck it. Like what's the point?
What's the point?
It's supposed to be food, is it not?
Yeah.
Like
No, and
I'm more impressed if you can make a cake that's edible that has a look to it. But when people like rely heavily on fondant to make and this is sort of an aside because it's not really cookie related.
This is a what?
You know, it's a detour, if you will. But I consider fondant sort of a cheat, you know, because fondant's basically like it's sugar plastic,
Yeah, yeah.
and nobody really fucking wants to eat.
Nobody
it.
eats it. Everybody, I know.
You just peel it
yeah,
off.
you peel it off.
Yeah.
It's under it.
So I'm kind of like when somebody makes a thing that's beautiful, but it's all fondant. I'm like, yeah, but why? Like, I'm not really impressed because I can't eat plastic either. But you can make all kinds. Like if you put it in the 3D printer, yeah, you can make it. You can look like a mogwai, but I wouldn't want to eat it. You know, my dog would eat it, I guess, because dogs will eat whatever the fuck you throw on the floor. But you know,
Well, that's one of the reasons. Like my cookies are ugly, but they're good, and that's
Yeah.
because I
Right.
literally just make
Because-
frosting on feel. Like it's literally
Sure.
made like until it's where I want
function
it.
over form,
Yeah.
right? Like that's
Yeah.
really, you know,
I want it to taste good.
Well, at the end of the day, that's really what you want with any kind of food item. I would say, like, as amazed as I might be by watching any fucking thing on YouTube or TikTok or whatever,
Yeah.
where somebody, I watch a lot of videos where people are like icing cakes and making chocolate, whatever the fuck. But at the end of the day, like, if they make something out of fondant, I'm like, that's beautiful, but I wouldn't fucking eat it because I know that fondant is just like sugary plastic, is all it is.
Right.
And the same goes, I guess, with what you're saying, royal
royal icing.
The royal icing.
It can be, if the cookie is good, the royal icing is just sugar on top, basically.
Yeah.
So if you've got the whole thing.
They used to sell some cookie. I want to say the brand Archer used to sell some fancy cookies at the store, and they would be very well shaped, and they would have like the most beautiful icing. And I think I bought them once in my life because I was impressed.
They're so beautiful
because they were. Yeah, I was impressed with the look of them. We got them home, and then I ate one. I was like, God, these are goddamn terrible. And I think it was what you're saying. I think it was probably royal icing. I was just like, oh, this tastes like paint.
I agree that it looks better on a cookie, like if you're presenting a cookie to someone. But
sure, but
yeah,
but at the end of the day, don't you want to enjoy the fucking cookie?
That's what we're hosting an open house, and we're gonna have a cookie decorating. So I'm gonna make a shit ton of cookies and just make a bunch of frosting.
Are you gonna make some royal ice?
No, none of them are gonna. So people can frost their own.
I thought maybe you could just be like, and here's this for you perfectionists.
I mean,
and then we'll see who likes what. After.
I actually thought about it, but no. Yeah, that seems like, first of all, I don't want to make royal icing. Yeah, it's complicated.
That's extra.
But second of all, yeah, exactly. That is a thing that's extra. But so I'm just gonna make like tubs of different colored frostings, and people can just frost their damn cookies.
So my grandmother's go-to, and this is cake icing. I don't know nothing about cookie icing because like I've only ever bought the shit in the tube that's already there in the Betty Crocker section at the store. My grandmother's icing recipe was this, like 1/2 sugar, 1/2 butter.
Oh, yeah.
That's icing. That's fucking icing right there. It's just sugar and butter.
I mean,
and then whatever color you stir in it.
Yeah, mine is milk. The one I make is, I've done it. The simple one is just sugar and milk. And then the complex one is sugar, milk, a little cream cheese, and a little butter.
Okay.
And that's it. And you keep adding like confectioner's sugar until it's the right consistency. So that's what you want. And if you make it too thick, you add some more milk. And if you make it too thin, you add some more confectioner's sugar.
And I'm fairly certain that's what my grandma's was just like this and that and this and that till you get it exactly the right consistency you want. But man, I mean, she used to make all my cakes when I was a kid, like all my birthday cakes. And I tell her like, I want a Snoopy birthday cake or whatever. She'd make me a fucking Snoopy birthday cake. And then she would always have like 7, because I don't know if your grandma was like this or, but
I didn't really know my grandma. Okay. So,
well, she had the Depression Tupperware, which is the I can't believe it's not butter.
Yeah,
and the Cool Whip.
Absolutely. My family, we had some of that.
So also she would give me all the leftover icing colors in various repurposed.
And actually I was thinking about that too, mostly because I want to keep you don't want to keep the icing just out, especially because we have a cat who will be like, oh, that's tasty.
I'll eat that.
So we have a bunch of they're not Tupperware. They're actually takeout containers from a Chinese place.
Yeah, those are good too. I always wash those. Yeah,
I wash those and they're the best. They're better. I don't even buy stuff anymore. I just use those.
Those, and I also like the oblong ones that the whole entree comes in.
Yeah.
Those are great containers.
So apparently Matt prefers royal icing.
Oh.
He said we're not going to make that for the party.
The royal we.
The royal we. So anyway, that is the whole episode. We're gonna go eat a pizza now.
Yeah.
Because
we're done with cookies.
Did we have a things that are extra?
I never did. It never occurred.
Well, we've got it. Next week's episode. Honestly, next week's episode is all things that are extra.
Oh, is it just everything that was extra over the year?
Yeah, I mean, it's our 3rd annual office Christmas party.
Okay.
So it's, we're going to drink eggnog and just, talk bullshit.
Okay,
so,
we're just going to,
whatever.
Photocopy our ass.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to get a little too drunk in a little too awkward of a situation to make that go well.
Right.
So we can save any things that are extra. Jesus Christ, people stop commenting. No, don't stop commenting. Stay commenting. We want you to comment, but Lord, I keep moving to another screen and then you comment. All right, so that is our whole show for today. I am on a sugar high and I'm going to go eat some pizza.
We're going to have to come down from this.
We do.
I hope this pizza is like super duper meaty because you have to eat a lot of sugar. Like you really want some salty meat to like kind of calm that sugar buzz down.
Some meat. I think. I don't know how much meat.
All right. I just remember one time I went out. And I went to IHOP at like 10 in the evening, and I had the chocolate pancakes. I don't know if they still make that or not.
Yeah.
But I used to be a fan of those when I was in college, and I had them at like 10 at night. And then like an hour later, I was like, "Oh, I'm feeling ill from eating all that chocolate. Like I'm on like on a sugar thing." And I remember I went to Kroger at like the fucking middle of the night and I bought sausage
Yeah.
because I just wanted something salty to like kind of like curb that fucking, like I bought
That's fair.
a big old thing of sausage links, went home and cooked them up, and ate them to like try and cleanse the palate from the chocolate pancakes. It's the cookies thing anyway.
Anyway, let's. Why don't you take us away?
Yeah, Bill Has Opinions is here produced by Laura Lavoie. The opinions of Bill are his and his alone, unless Laura agreed with them. Tonight, I don't know. We had a lot of disagreements, really.
I mean, you like the cookies I made, so that's okay.
So,
You're invited back.
okay, I'll have cookies again next year, I guess. They definitely don't. They don't have anything to do with the opinions of either Ian Lino or Radiant Paws, who are not really paying us for sponsorship. But go out and patronize those folks anyway because they're good people. And be sure to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Yeah, and follow us on Facebook and hashtag Opinion Gang. Like you're pressing the fork on the top of the peanut butter cookies. If you have something to say about this episode or any other episode, you can leave us feedback or ask questions, and send us some mailbag questions, whatever.
Yeah.
Suggest episode scenarios.
Yeah, I have to make my 2023 calendar.
That's
so
right. We're
send
still
us your
working on
topics.
that. Yeah, it's coming up soon. So be sure to ask, like, if you have something you want us to cover that we haven't gotten to yet, we'll do it. And anyway, yeah, then we'll see you next week at the same time. And appreciate you watching.
And we'll wear some lampshades on our head and have a good time.
Oh gosh, it's gonna be crazy.
Crazy.
Things are gonna get nuts. I'll probably get fired.
Yeah, you might get fired by the next day.
Because that's what happens.
After that, it'll be someone else has
someone
opinions.
else. Jonathan, I understand, is gonna have opinions. Maybe like he's. I heard somebody. There's some rumors around the office. There was somebody else who had opinions around here.
There may be. All right, folks. We'll see you in a week. And then we're off for a couple weeks because of the holidays.
Makes sense.
But we will see you all very soon in 1 week from tonight. Tune in then and have fun. Eat some cookies.
Yeah.